That's how I work my nerves out. This is where I feel really comfortable, right? So thank you so much for checking this out. Once again, this is 100 Years of Black American Rhythm, from stomping and clapping to digital grooves. And essentially, what we're going to be talking about today is this timeline that I put together. My kids at Brightwood, being a Title I school, there's a certain sound that they're just used to hearing. And a lot of that has to do with the sacred music that they're hearing in church. Ooh, that's kind of important. Can everybody hear me?
No.
Let me see here. Put on my Benny Hinn lapel mic. Touch! Somebody got that. Yeah. All right. But yeah, so this is part experiential. I've been playing drums for, October made 37 years. I've been playing drums, 37 years, good God. And I know what it's like to be a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old sitting in class getting in trouble because you're tapping on everything all the time, because you're constantly hearing music. I know what it's like at the end of a test and you're sitting there and you're trying to be cool, but you're hearing that clock tick and it sounds amazing, right? Especially if it's in reference to another clock in the room. It's like, oh my God, this is so cool. And so having the opportunity of all things to be able to teach my kids at Brightwood, it's been a true blessing to my life, because I've been able to take tangible experiences I've had as a child and turn them into lesson plans, and turn them into games. And yeah, we just have a good old time. So let's jump on into this. So I'm going to take you through. Can we go back just real quick? Let me do this. A playlist of Black American popular songs that have reinvented the quarter note, pulse, or steady beat. Right? Like, we as educators, we're trying to teach the kids basically how to keep time. Like, you got to participate in the music, right? If the tempo is set in a certain place, I need you to be here on time. And we're going to talk about how to do that. Now, using Black American pedagogy, that's hilarious, and identifying its traces from West African rhythm, participants will see the connection between world drumming, jazz, and modern band, and leave with an increased understanding of how to teach steady beat, take the difficulty out of teaching steady beat, and connect their students with their innate sense of rhythm. So I teach what I call Rhythms in America, and what it is a combination of the world drumming curriculum, the jazz curriculum, I guess I was and then modern band. And these are the main things that, like, I'm trying to get my kids to understand. With world drumming, they're going to learn all of the essential rhythms. There's a language of rhythm around the world that what I love about, doing gigs is I get to play with people I've never played with. In most instances, a lot of times I'm either hopping off of a plane, going to a spot I've never been to before, and I got to set up and I have to sound like we have rehearsed for hours, right? And that ain't easy. Like, that is taking me over 30 years to even get comfortable with that. And one of the secrets to the sauce is knowing these essential rhythms, right? If I know what the 2-3 clouding is, as opposed to 3-2 clouding, me and the bass player, we gonna get along, because he's gonna put his beat on the correct side, right? If we could split a measure 4/4 in half, when we talk about 3-2 and 2-3 clouding, that's all we're doing. We're just talking about how the measure of 4/4, how there's one measure split in half. There's one side that you'll subdivide that into 3 beats, and then the other side you'll subdivide it into 2 beats. If it's not a 1-bar phrase, it's a 2-bar phrase, right? Where one side you think ternary, the other side you think binary. And then you're able to get this modulatory, we don't really know what time signature we in, kind of thing happening. So I teach my kids that. Also, I don't know why I phrase it like that, but I put pedagogical practice. Really, I should have just put humility. One of the things I love about the African, yeah, for real. Because the thing I love about the African system of drumming, I've been blessed to meet master drummers from all across Africa. And in that system, you don't just walk over to the master drummer's drum and just start playing. But they're going to hand you a cowbell. They're going to hand you a wood block. And in certain cultures, you may play cowbell wood block 10, 15 years. But it builds that system of humility and patience. Because when we talk about steady beat, the only reason why people rush is because there's some outward manifestation of inward impatience. I tell my kids all the time, listen, the beat ain't going nowhere. Like, what are you rushing for? Oh, I get it. That's your partner over there. You trying to prove that you understand what I'm saying faster than me. But I don't need you to play the rhythm faster than me. We're working as a team. I need you to slow down. All right. So in jazz, I'm trying to teach the kids how to improvise. I talked about being able to hop off the plane, meet people that you've never met before, and we call it hit. It's like we're just going to hit, bam. And we're going to figure it out on the spot. We're going to build the plane as we're flying. It's one of the things that I would love about jazz music, right? We have to sound like we've been rehearsing for months, right there on the spot. And sometimes it don't work. And that's okay too, right? It's life. Virtuosic expression. Now don't get it twisted. I love classical music. I'm actually, obviously I like the obvious people like Beethoven, but like, I like obscure things. Anybody in here a fan of like Messiaen? Yeah, see, I like that weird stuff. Whenever they taught us like aleatoric and avant-garde stuff in undergrad, I was like, I like this weird stuff. I like dodecaphronic. I just like that word, dodecaphronic. Lastly, not least, is modern band. Modern band, that curriculum allows me to be culturally relevant to my kids. It's 2024. So even though I love Count Basie, if I'm not connecting Count Basie to what Lil Baby is doing, they ain't paying me no attention. And it don't matter how much I try to tell them, well, this is smart people's music. This is, the music of, the elite and how intellectual it is. They need to see how what I'm showing them is relevant. And, man, I had, I'm only going to say this for this purpose. I had some incredible footage of my first grades. Drawing these direct parallels. This is how you know we're warfare against, because how this filed out in grades, I still don't understand. But my first graders, right? I played this at Count Basie, and then I played this at Lil Baby. And they were telling me how the same Tracio rhythms they were hearing in the horn section, the producer who made the Lil Baby track was incorporating this. I was like, right? We can go to the next one. So, as far as like the North Carolina teacher standards, in my write-up for this presentation, like I had like the 3ML1, all of that. But just for the sake of speed, this is how I group it for me. The musical literacy portion, I'm just trying to teach them objective things about music. And we got this one game, it's so cool. We sit in a circle, I give everybody an instrument, right? And we have to play, let's just say, a quarter note of beat 1 3 bases, right? Well, while you're playing the quarter note on beat 1, and we're trying to get the time together as a group, you also, when it's not your turn to play the tambourine, you got to get up, run to the board, write the quarter note, the rest, and it has to be legible. I don't like sloppy handwriting. Then you got to get back to your seat. And another caveat to that is, while we're playing these quarter notes, I'm continually handing tambourines. So by the time the game is finished, it's impossible to write the rhythms on the board, but that's the point, right? It's supposed to be fun. So yeah, that's DOK level 1, just getting them to understand bam, that's a quarter note. DOK level 2 is like the musical responses. So after we've written the quarter note, talk to me about this placement. You always have to play this quarter note on B1, right? Like, talk to me about moving this quarter note around. And then obviously, depth of knowledge level 3, contextual levels. At the end of the day, that's where my heart is. If I can get you to connect what I'm talking to you about in the classroom to something else in your life, we've done it all. And I have some clips later on in the presentation that will show that. Keep going. All right. This is the biggest thing. I'm using very colloquial language because that's how I feel comfortable talking. But I've done my nerd work while I was working on my master's. And what I saw checking out all these scholarly articles is all of the beefing and fighting between cultures, all about this rhythm. And what I realized, and what I've been putting forward, both in formal spaces like this, and then in informal spaces, just hanging out with my friends who play different styles of music, is Africans think of this rhythm vertically, and Europeans think of this rhythm horizontally. It's only different. Think about that, right? Think about that. And at the very bottom, because I don't want to stay here too long, but at the very bottom, you can take a picture of these cats. That's Dr. Kofi Agawa, Dr. C.K. Lexepo, Dr. Willie Anku, and David Peñalosa. These are the brilliant minds that are leading the conversation from the West African end on this rhythm. This rhythm is connected to the golden ratio. When we talk about the Fibonacci number system and symmetry and how we perceive beauty, this is the audio representation of that. And so every culture is dealing with this, right? If I can see a piece of art from your culture, I'm like, okay, so that's how y'all test it. Okay, that's cool. Oh, so that's how y'all get there. Boom. But we all talk about the same things, just different ways. Now the reason why this is important is because when we talk about Black American rhythm, what I love about what we've been able to create as African Americans in this country is we've reconciled the enmity between these two cultures in our rhythm. So we can do it. So we're talking about a multicultural exploration of time, which is steady beat. Anywhere I've gone on the planet, you have some type of groove now. And if you're able to connect with that, right, on the visceral level, right, you can make a deep connection with people. We can do all of the formalism and all of that afterwards, but can we just groove together? Can we just get a sound together? That's what it's about. Now, let me use some more big words. Steady beat in the human heart. The thing I love about rhythm is everybody has a heartbeat. So whenever I talk about connecting the students with their innate sense of rhythm, do this exercise. In fact, we're going to do it. All I want you to do is close your eyes, forget everybody. All right, and all I want you to do is just take a moment, put your hand over your heart, put your eyes closed, and listen to your heart. What's that? All right, eyes open. That's powerful. Everybody has their own rhythm. What I love about that internal rhythm of your heartbeat is we ain't all in the same tempo. Now, if we stop there, well, my heart is beating 83 beats a minute. This is a 73. No. The fact that they're beating at the same time means that there's a power. That's how the Africans think. They think, oh, well, if it's happening at the same time, it's somehow connected. We just now have to let it just let the beat ride, and we'll figure it out, right? Now, scientifically speaking, the pulse of the human heart is a complete cycle of the systolic and diastolic. These two rhythms are a result of the blood leaving the heart. She's laughing because this is my helpmate. This is my girlfriend. This is Kid. She was pre-med at Chapel Hill for a long time. So when I start talking like this, she's been with me while I've been putting together this presentation. You know, I start talking this diastolic stuff. She was like, oh, okay. But that's the thing, it's interdisciplinary, right? So this rhythm is a result of blood leaving your heart, and then that's the systolic, and then as the blood returns, that's the diastolic, and that's the one that's twice as long. And when we compare these rhythms in terms of duration, diastolic rhythm is twice as long as the systolic, and every drummer knows that the 2-to-1 ratio is a shuffle rhythm. Hello, it's a shuffle rhythm. We teach our kids all the time, right? You've got to be able to discern between long and short, right? It's already happening in the body all the time. To be more specific, the human heart is an inverted shuffle rhythm. This is where we start talking, this is drumistic language. The shuffle rhythm is typically played like this: long, short, 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 long, short. Right? And in reference to a downbeat, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But interestingly enough, your heartbeat is the opposite of that. So it's like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're counting in triplets, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I think that's the coolest thing. So we can keep going. So there's this rhythm called the West African timeline. They call it the traditional bell pattern, and it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. If you know that rhythm, go ahead and play with me. Stop. Okay, we can keep going. Now, what's cool about, we'll pause one just right quick. I get really excited about this. So, when you talk about rhythmic displacement, the airway people hear this rhythm this way. But the Yoruba people, who it'd be the functional equivalent of like if we had Greensboro, High Point, and Winston Salem. Right? I'm from Greensboro, this is how we get down. But then the people in High Point, this is how they hear the rhythm. And then the cats over here in Winston, this is how they hear the rhythm. Right? Same thing, but by starting in different places, you get a different interpretation of it. Now, I don't like the sound. This is a really great clip of Winston Salem talking about this bell pattern and how it was transmutated from this African version to what we call the shuffle rhythm. So let's try it.
The music centers on the harmonious tension of an odd and even rhythm played together, yin and yang, male and female. Let's hear this rhythm. The top rhythm is in 6 and the bottom is in 2. We can count it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's hear a basic African rhythm in 6 on the cymbal, and we're going to keep the 2 going on the bass drum. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You hear that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 2 is going to stay the same on the bass drum, but let's hear how the American shuffle simplified the African 6. So Ali is going to start with the African 6. Then he's going to go into 6/8, then the 6, then show you our shuffle rhythm. You've heard that your entire life. That's where it came from. Our derivation is called the shuffle rhythm. Even today, a large bulk of American music is played to this rhythm.
That's hip, right? So, this Tracy rhythm, I talked about, well, I didn't use the word here, but ubiquitous, right? Meaning that it's everywhere. It's so much everywhere that we almost, it would change reality if we didn't have this, right? That's what this rhythm is. This is the duplified, let me see. So in the West African construct, they describe everything like, in terms of family. So this rhythm is almost like the parent of the timeline. Does that make sense? Now, I say it's duplified because a Nansen hearer would hear the fact that it's duple and be so much distracted by the fact that it's a duple iteration of it that they wouldn't see the connection to the ternary timeline. But this rhythm is a duplified version of borrowed half-note triplets. Okay? So you can play this rhythm to you. You have right, that's a duplified version. But if you smooth it out and make the quavers of equal length, it goes from that to this. So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. In fact, I remember in high school, there were some people who, my band director, Grimsley, he used to get on them. He would say, those are not triplets. He was right, but he was wrong. They are triplets. They're just duplified triplets. And actually, if you don't learn anything else as a musician, as a performer, that's the secret sauce to modulate from ternary subdivisions directly into blues. The secret in African rhythm is this. If I know what the number of accents are, I can make that a time signature. You understand? If I have a rhythm that has 5 accents, we in 5/4. Trust me. It's just I'm concealing it from you until I get ready to modulate, right? And this is important because it wasn't until I think 1951, an incredible composer, Elliott Clarke. In fact, he didn't get the point term. It was a gentleman who was reviewing his work, and he came up with the term in classical community called metric modulation. So being able to slide from the same way we modulate from one key to another, right? Using closely related key signatures. We all know the C major is the key signature with 0 sharps and 0 flats. And if I want to go to G, all I got to do is just one F sharp. See that? If I want to go to D, all I got to do is add C sharp. See what I'm saying? Closely related key signatures. This is the rhythmic functional equivalent to that. You're able to ease in and out of binary and ternary systems using this concept. All right, now this Tresillo rhythm has many names in the African diaspora. When you talk New Orleans, which is like supposed to be like the northernmost city in the Caribbean, they call it the Bambula. But they also call it the second line. Up here in the Carolinas, because of the Gullah people in South Carolina who talk real funny. I got some Geechee people in my family, and they talk so funny. I'm always messing with them. But it's the Africanistic potential, the way that they talk. they call it the Charleston rhythm, right? Out in Chicago, they call it the Bo Diddley rhythm. In DC, they call it the go-go. If you go to anywhere in places like Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, they call this the calypso rhythm. If you go to South America, they call it the Bayonne. I wasn't able to find a little stupid thing to go over there. And then in certain gospel circles, they call it the Godhead rhythm because it deals with three. Now, this is a demonstration. I'm so proud of my kids. They spend a lot of time dealing with this rhythm. Now, I had some behavioral problems, which is why you're only going to see 2 kids playing the drums. Yeah. I will sit you down quick, Jack. But check this out. Check this out. So, in terms of contextual relevance, one thing that I like to do is I have my kids, after we do the, first off, I break up the overall lesson I'm trying to teach them by grading them, right? That's just smart. And then everybody has to watch the entire program, and whether it's through verbal communication or through written communication, how you're connecting the dots via, I don't know what to say. You have to tell me how you're connecting the dots concerning what you learned, right? How are you connecting what I've been telling you in the classroom for the past 9 weeks, right, 18 weeks, whatever, to the things you performed on stage, and then also what you saw the other kids perform on stage. How does that connect to what you do? And once again, the things that my babies say, I'm just so proud of. You can keep going. So, steady beat in the Black American music is the quarter note pulse with an accent on beat too. Now, I know I'm not going to get through my entire time. So let me give you the secret sauce before you leave. This simple change in receiving the quarter note pulse, besides the shuffle rhythm, is the #1 contribution to the African rhythm, the Pan-African rhythm lesson, right? That Black Americans is very simple. Everybody in here, we all North Carolina. I'm gonna have you put your foot down on beat 1, and you're going to clap on beat 2. 1, 2. You know what to do. And 1, 2. Keep going. Down, right. And stop. That's it. That's the and I say Black American, but honestly, when you study the history of this, you had slaves hanging out with poor white people that were disenfranchised, hanging out with Native Americans, hanging out with Hispanics, and this is the sound that we created as Americans. Now, here's what's wild about being a young Black dude traveling the world. I didn't realize I was American until I got outside of America. Now, I knew I was American, but understand what I'm trying to tell you. I played a jazz festival in Cape Town, and this blew my mind. You want to talk about like having a core memory and just like an aha moment. There was a traditional West African dance team from Nigeria, a South African jazz ensemble that was dealing with like their mashup of like traditional South African rhythms and American jazz. There was us, and then there was a group from Cuba playing traditional Cuban rumba rhythms. And I'm backstage. And to be honest, I am intimidated because all of these drummers are way better than me. And I'm just like, dude, like, all of these sounds. And so the South African cat comes up to me, and he's like, bro, like, man, you playing the heck out of these American rhythms. That's interesting. I never thought of these country rhythms I've been learning all my life is American rhythms. So I want to thank him for that, sweetheart.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the Pentecostal beat, right? Another way that you can call this stomping and clapping. Brentford Marsalis actually turned. He's the one that was coined this phrase in the recent zeitgeist, right? The Pentecostal beat. Now these two cats are very important when we talk about the Pentecostal beat. Over here is Bishop C.H. Mason, who was the founder of the largest black denomination in the world, the Culture Denomination, Church of God in Christ. And for any of you people who, you people who see and who like to do the Holy Ghost dance in church, he's the father of that. He's the first cat to do that. And then this is William J. Seymour. And this is the father of the Pentecostal movement in America. It was a revival that started in Los Angeles at a horse stable called the Azusa Street Revival. And the reason why this was monumental in American history because this was a movement where you had everybody, black, white, yellow, purple, black, everybody was just humble and they were just hungry for change in their hearts. And they came together and they were dealing with these sounds, especially the stomping and clapping that we're talking about. So let's go past that. Let's go past that. All right, boom. Let's jump into this. I want to play you guys some examples of these rhythms. This Pentecostal beat and the the Pentecostal beat and the Charleston rhythm. Check this out. And let me see if you can clap out the Charleston rhythm. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Now, where's the Pentecostal beat? Exactly. Now, we've heard this all our lives, but you got to understand, this is revolutionary in 1920. It was a normal thing for jazz musicians to go over to Europe and go play, and the European musicians, classical musicians, they would examine their instruments like, man, you're playing a magic trumpet. This ain't a normal trumpet. I've been playing trumpet my whole life. Trumpets don't sound like that. Same thing with the piano. Now, another name for the Tracy rhythm is the habanero. They call it that too. All right, now this is the 1930s swing era, and the gentleman up top is Papa Joe Jones. I just want you to check out how he hooks up this rhythm on the hi-hat, which we also call the sock cymbal.
There's no video.
All right, that's the brother. Okay, that's fine. I'll do it. Why is this?
Better.
So, Pentecostal beat. And he goes. You can go to the next slide. So then this cat, Clarke, he says, I want to take this rhythm and put it on the cymbal. Stop. Now, this is why that's so revolutionary, because in the Western European timbral hierarchy, the BASS is also the BASE. You feel me?
Yeah.
But in the West African timbral hierarchy, yes, the BASS is the BASE, but the timeline the high-pitched instrument is the VAS. So Kenny Clarke, single-handedly, with an instrument that ain't from Africa or Europe, is actually from Turkey. But yeah, on a Turkish cymbal, he was able to reconcile those cultural differences in which timbre serves as the voice of beginning and timekeeping. Now, advanced techniques for the modern drummer was dropped in 1948 by a gentleman named Jim Chapin. I'm 2024 recipient of Jim Chapin Memorial Scholarship. And it happened around this time. This is so cool. And what I dig about Jim